give you 11 South John Street, Goldsboro.
Plan on more clouds and the good chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms in our forecast for this weekend. The forecast for this Friday afternoon, partly cloudy skies, hazy, hot and humid with a few late afternoon thunderstorms. But I think most of the thunderstorm activity will be south of the triangle. High temperatures 88 to 93. Fair to partly cloudy tonight, a low of 66 to 71. And on Saturday, a mixture of clouds and sun by the midday with scattered late afternoon thunderstorms and a high temperature of 86 to 90. I'm meteorologist George Bridgers in the Weather Center.
It's time for your child to win big, just for spelling the right word. 1150 WGBR, along with Berkeley Mall, proudly presents the second annual WGBR Spelling Contest. The Wayne County School System will select 5 students from each competing grade. Ask your child's teacher how they can win great prizes. First place in each of the 4 levels of competition will win a $100 savings bond from Malcovia Bank of North Carolina and a trophy from WGBR. Plus, a long list of excellent prizes are provided by concerned area businesses that care about your child's education. Businesses like Heilig Myers of Goldsboro, the Intimate Bookshop on Cashwell Drive here in Goldsboro, the Computer Pros of Kinston, and Lim's Menswear in the Berkeley Mall. The second annual WGBR Spelling Contest is going to be held in Berkeley Mall Saturday, September the 14th, with WGBR calling out the contest words daily through September the 13th. The second annual WGBR Spelling Contest. Center Court at Berkeley Mall, Saturday, September the 14th. Please come and join us. The views expressed by the host of this program are reverberating and resonating all across the fruited plain. Why? Because the views expressed by the host on this program do not follow the pack. No, the views expressed by the host on this program are unique and individual and thoughtful. The result of research, the result of a daily relentless pursuit of the truth. That's right, my friends. If you want to hear a different take on events, that is, if you want to hear the truth, you will listen to this, the Rush Limbaugh program on the Excellence in Broadcasting Network.
This is a special edition of the Rush Limbaugh program, America, the way it ought to be. And now, from our studios in New York City, here is Rush Limbaugh.
Live from New York, it's Open Line Friday.
I'm counting on you people today. Yes, sirree, Bob. Open Line Friday means that you, the listeners and would-be callers to this program, play a greater role than you do Monday through Thursday, at least in the important area of topic selection. So here's the number. You can start lining up now. Mr. Snerdley eagerly standing by to screen your call, to determine your fitness to appear on this, the most listened to and clearly most popular radio talk show of all time, the Rush Limbaugh program. It's 800-282-2882. Well, the media is all on its way to Chicago. Some of them are already there, getting ready for the Democratic National Convention, which officially kicks off on Monday. I'm reading all the parties that are scheduled to occur. All of the highfalutin entertaining that's going on. All these rich, powerful people getting together and hobnobbing with Hollywood celebrities and media celebrities with all of their shrimp and yachts and corporate jets and parties. Will we hear about any of that on the mainstream press from any of our trusted 3 network anchor people? I don't think so, my friends, because they'll all be at these things. And I mean, has Peter Jennings told you that he once danced with Hillary Clinton? No, that was up to me to find out and tell you about. He clearly wouldn't tell you. Was it up to Tom Brokaw to tell you he went to a big financial management seminar with Herbie Allen, some of the biggest media guys out in Idaho in that latter part of July? No, but we discover these things and we pass them on to you. Now let's see some other things. Let's ask ourselves other questions as well. During the Republican convention, for example, for 2 weeks leading up to that convention and then the week of the convention, the press simply couldn't stop asking anybody and everybody a question about abortion. Will there be a floor fight? There was Ann Stone everywhere. No matter what show you tuned into, there was some pro-choice Republican describing how they've been mishandled, they've been mistreated, they're not being given a fair shot here. Pete Wilson's not being allowed to speak. The media was out looking for any trouble whatsoever. The media was out looking for any controversy whatsoever. They wanted fireworks. They wanted disunity. So they just asked any question they could get. And the answers, of course, were all disappointing as far as the press concerned. There was no disunity, and the convention went along as smoothly as any convention in modern time, which, of course, bored the mainstream press. Now, the Democrats are not exactly unified, especially since the President of the United States, and I had an opportunity today to watch a little bit of the signing ceremony. So yesterday I was hip deep in show prep, and I only cursorily watched it, but today I watched a little bit more of it. He was squirming. You know what he was doing during the signing ceremony for the welfare bill? He said, look, I'm signing this, but I really don't hold it against me. I mean, I'm going to change this next term. Some of this stuff I can't abide, but who do you trust to make the changes but me? I mean, it was just very, very classic, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, the Washington Post editorial today, if I can find it amidst my stack of stuff here that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Here it is. The Washington Post writes of it this way. The administration promises to fix these things the president says he doesn't like about it. You wonder in which Congress that'll be. The president now is able to present himself as a defender of the needy in that he instantly seeks to undo a part of what he's just done. They've captured it. I care about you people in need. I'll fix what's broken. Why are you signing it in the first place then? Wants both sides of the issue, my friends. Wants both sides. Classic Clinton. Now, there are a lot of Democrats that are not happy with him signing this welfare reform package. I wonder if the media, which begins assembling today in Chicago, will continue to ask every Democrat they find about this. I'm sure they will. Don't misunderstand. They're not going to let the question go unasked, but will they relentlessly pursue controversy here? Will they relentlessly pursue people that are mad as they can be? And how about this? You know, when it comes to abortion, let's talk about partial birth abortions for a moment and the ban on the partial birth abortions that the president vetoed. Do you know that 73 Democratic members of the House of Representatives voted to ban partial birth abortions? Will any of those 73 be sought out by the mainstream press beginning this weekend in Chicago and asked what they think of the rift in this party over late-term abortions and partial birth abortions? Because, folks, let me tell you what that means. When the president vetoes a ban on partial birth abortions, what he's really saying is, I don't think there should be any limit whatsoever on abortion. There should be no limits. Anytime anybody wants one for any reason, I'm in support. And there are clearly people in the Democratic Party who don't feel that way. Will the press say, what limits on abortion do you support? Will they try to drive a wedge between Democratic delegates and the president? I'll guarantee you that it won't happen. And if it does happen, it'll be because we're bringing pressure on them on this program and other places to do it. Otherwise, and I still don't think it'll happen. You won't see nearly the attempt to confound, to trick, to otherwise bedraggle Democratic delegates at this convention. They're going to be hard-pressed, the media, not to follow through on the love fest that they're going to field. Now, you might say, Rush, don't worry about this. There will be protests. They're going to be angry people. You, Rush, have been saying so yourself. Yes, I have. I have said that it is possible. I said that if there's any convention of these two that looks like there's a potential for unrest, it's the Democratic side. A, because they're back in Chicago and people have memories, and B, this welfare thing has got people upset. I'll tell you who's all upset about it. Patricia Ireland of the irrelevant National Organization for Women, known popularly here as the Now Gang. She said, wait, this is terrible. I don't understand why he's doing this. We're going to hold our nose and vote for Bill Clinton, but this is a sad day for America. So Dick Gregory was on CNN today, And Dick Gregory said that there are some very serious security issues that are present in Chicago at the Democratic National Convention. And because of those security issues, because of the security issues, the Democrats will probably, and they don't want to do this, you understand, but they'll have to bite the bullet and control or maybe stop and not allow any demonstrations over the welfare issue at the convention. There's just too many security concerns. So you understand, they're not going to stop any of these protests because of how bad it'll look. They're going to stop the protests because of security issues. If it weren't for the security issues, why, hell, anybody, raise hell, it'd be fine. But we've got security issues. And so we'll just see if the press pursues. And when people, remember when Pat Buchanan walked into the convention, who was speaking when Buchanan, I think it was Gerald Ford was making a speech. Buchanan walks into convention, and the networks all leave Gerald Ford's speech and immediately go, are you expecting any trouble on the floor tonight, Mr. Buchanan? Are you happy to be here? Are you ready to lead your group in a walkout? Let's see if anything like this goes on. Let's see if when Robert Casey enters the hall, if he's going, I don't even know. Let's see if he goes. Say he enters the hall during somebody's speech. Let's see if they leave the speech to find Robert Casey. Chris Dodd. I was told yesterday that Christopher Dodd made a speech in Connecticut criticizing the president's signing of the welfare reform bill. Chris Dodd, associate, whatever, chairman of the Democratic National Committee, criticized Clinton's signing of the bill. Will they seek out Chris Dodd? When Chris Dodd shows up on the floor, the Democratic convention during somebody's speech, and say, well, hey, by the way, would you understand that you didn't quite go along with the president of the welfare reform package? Is there trouble brewing? Let's just see if any of these sorts of things occur. My, of course, thoughts are that they won't. Have serious doubts about it. There are, as always, my friends, numerous other things in the news. We've got some animal stories today, some heartwarming, some will tear your heart out. We'll get to them. Jack Kevorkian, Dr. Death. You know, I love this headline in USA Today. A new question amid suicide debate. What if patient isn't fatally ill? See, this is another classic example. USA Today is just now, after what, 37 deaths, USA Today is just now beginning to scratch its head and ask the question. There's also an editorial in USA Today where they express a little bit of concern about this. But where have you been able to hear the proper concern expressed from the get-go? Right here on this program. What if the patient isn't fatally ill, asks USA Today. Hey, you could have asked that some years ago, my friends. But at least they're on the page now. Things are coming around. Tobacco issue continues to rage out there. I imagine we're going to get a lot of calls on this as well today. So it's your show today. It's Open Line Friday. You choose the things we discuss. We'll take a break here, my friends, and be back. Also, SAT scores. Everybody's being told how great the SAT score performance is. Every day we're up to a new high. Everybody's doing it. It's not true, my friends. I don't want to burst your bubble. I don't want to ruin your day, but the SAT scores are nothing to celebrate. They're maybe worse than ever. And I'll tell you what the dirty little secret is in being able to report higher than ever test scores or higher than recent history test scores as the program unfolds today. Plus, since this is the program leading up to the day-long or the week-long convention that the Democrats have, we're going to have a little tribute to Chicago today. So we're going to recount some of Chicago's greatest contributions to American history over the course of the program today. In fact, here is one. Chicago, let us not forget, my friends, is the home of Al Capone. who is perhaps the nation's foremost mobster. Well, it's also the home of Dan Rostenkowski. And if you count mob members of Congress, you might have a battle between Rosti and Capone. But nevertheless, they're both from Chicago. Capone proved that sometimes American justice can't touch you if you murder, if you run illegal bookie joints, and the like. But let me tell you, you can get away with murder, you can get away with illegal bookie joints, you can get away with gambling, you get away with a lot of stuff. But if you don't pay your fair share of American tax revenue, my friends, you will go to jail. The IRS will get you, even if you live in Chicago. We'll take a break and be back after this. Do not go away, my friend.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
You have heard me talk about Snappy, the remarkable product that grabs video and instantly transfers it as a still image on your PC. Now, Snappy was invented by an exciting young company, Play Incorporated. Their objective, the creation of great new products for the next millennium. You just got to have one of these Snappies. These guys have solved a problem that has plagued PC users since the invention of the PC. How to get high-quality images from video onto your PC easily and affordably. Now, Snappy's about the size of the palm of your hand. It plugs into the back of your computer and allows you to take video from your camcorder, your VCR, or your television. You choose a video image, just snap it, and you use it on greeting cards, newsletters, or post them on the internet. Literally thousands of uses. And Snappy sells for just $199. Snappy is available at your local Computer City and other stores that sell Play products. Find out more about Play and Snappy by visiting them on the web at www.play.com or call them. The number is 800-306-PLAY.
This is Vanna White. You know, I couldn't get through my busy day without a good night's sleep, so I sleep on a back supporter mattress from Spring Air, the creators of Sleep Fitness. Spring Air recognizes that just like exercising and eating right, deep, restful sleep is essential for good health. And now's your chance to save big on the Sleep Fitness mattress that Consumers Digest rated Best Buy during Spring Air's Best Buy Pillow Top Mattress Sale. So stop by your local Spring Air retailer today. But hurry, this sale won't last long.
There are super summer savings now at Barnes Jewelers. Barnes now offers savings to 50% off diamond jewelry, up to half price off 10 and 14 karat gold jewelry, and 10 to 50% off watches. These savings and more, along with the best jewelry repair service in Eastern Carolina. Barnes Jewelers, 502B Eastgate Drive, Goldsboro.
For special people, give something special from Barnes Jewelers.
Nobody sells used cars for less, period. Nobody sells for less than Courtesy Buick, GMC Truck, Honda, Mercedes in Goldsboro. Courtesy of Goldsboro has over $2 million in used car inventory ready for delivery. Get the power of a V8 and the convenience of an automatic with the 95 Chevy Silverado, priced at Courtesy only $16,989. 95 Buick Regals from $12,989. 95 Buick LeSabres from $16,989. And 95 Cadillac Sedan DeVille starting at only $21,989. And something new at Courtesy Buick. If the price of a new car seems out of reach, you'll find 15 to 20 of the nicest used cars and trucks you've ever seen, all priced under $10,000. Courtesy of Goldsboro calls it the Bargain Corral. You'll call it the best deal you've ever gotten on a used car or truck. Nobody sells used cars and trucks for less. And nobody carries nicer, more dependable used cars than Courtesy Buick, GMC Truck, Honda, Mercedes. Highway 70 Bypass, Goldsboro. Tax tag and dock fee are extra.
It's hard to stop a trade because every Trade XL 1200 Weathertron heat pump is designed, tested, and manufactured to last. Call your CP&L quality heat pump dealer, E.T. Farrell & Son of Mount Olive, and save on this heat pump. The Trade XL 1200 will run for years regardless of the weather. The compressor and coil are covered by Trade's 10-year manufacturer limited warranty, plus 2 years on all parts and labor. E.T. Farrell & Son of Mount Olive, serving Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. Call 658-2971.
800-282-2882. It's Rush Limbaugh, the most listened to, most loved, most eagerly anticipated, and most feared radio talk show in Histoire. We're at 800-282-2882. Couple things out of the newspaper today. This from the Florida Times-Union. The cartoonist is Ed Gamble. It's a two-panel cartoon. Left side panel. People talking inside the White House. One person says, I don't know who it is, but obviously Clinton, Hillary. Dole is really getting a bounce in the polls from the GOP convention. Somebody else, don't worry, Mr. President, wait till the people see our convention. And then the next panel is Democratic National Convention, and it's a drawing of everybody who will be there. Save our Washington bureaucracy, just say no to tax cuts, save the elm trees, save welfare, feminists, and this woman is a feminist, is dressed up as a Viking. Save affirmative action, save our illegal immigrants, support same-sex marriage, abortion on demand, legalize drugs, White House staff, say no to school prayer, say no to school vouchers. If that's the convention that actually is portrayed, then this is going to be fun. I don't think they're going to let that happen. Of course, I've looked at the speaking roster, and they do have some of their most far left-wing spokesmen and spokespeople showing up to make speeches. Now, they're all elected members of Congress and the Senate, but they've really got some pretty far-left libs showing up to make some speeches. But I doubt that we're going to hear the same-sex marriage people give a speech. In fact, there's another one. Why don't the press go out and try to find some gay delegates and see if they can cause some trouble between the same-sex marriage advocates and the fact the president doesn't want to sign any legislation that would allow that to happen in this country. I think this is, the Democratic Party is so full of so many different constituents groups that the opportunity here, if the press really wants to find trouble, if they define having a fun day as all sorts of tumult, I mean, this convention really is going to offer them plenty of opportunity if they will pursue it. Doubt that they will. Keep a sharp eye. Here, my friends, is another letter to the editor of USA Today. It's from a guy named Jack Harbaugh in Savannah, Georgia. And it in his own words, says, raises many of the questions that I have been raising so far this morning on what kind of coverage we're going to see of this convention. He writes, it'll be interesting to see how the Democrats handle their convention after all the constructive criticism they and the media gave the Republicans. In fact, Democrats should thank the Republicans for going first to set the standards for an acceptable national political convention. Certainly, after all the criticism of Republicans, the Democrats' presentations will not be tailored and timed, and their speakers will be allowed to address any subject for as long as they choose. No black speakers can be permitted or black delegates photographed because this is overt tokenism. That's what we learned in the Republican convention. No one can take issue with Republican positions, since criticizing an opponent is now called divisive. Women who speak would be schmoozing female voters, so they're not allowed. If the vice president doesn't disagree publicly with the president, he's being manipulated and without a mind of his own. If discontent and arguing don't break out of the floor, it's evidence of orchestration, so we should look for a lot of fist-shaking and booing. And of course, no longer can the unions sponsor paid advertisements promoting the Democratic Party, nor can any of the Democrats' Hollywood friends throw parties, furnish transportation, or offer hospitality suites. This, according to criticism of the Republicans and their supporters, would be buying an election. Pretty good rundown of exactly what the Republicans were criticized for, that the Democrats will be doing times 10, and let's just see if there is any criticism of it at all. Duncanville, Pennsylvania. We'll start there on the phones. Hello, Phil. Glad you called, sir.
Hey, dittos from Tour de Tuna territory. Cycling events going on here.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Hey, a couple things I noticed. I had noticed Pat Ireland last night saying she was deeply disappointed about what the president has done, and we are withholding every penny. We will not give him one penny for his reelection. We will support.
We refuse to
the other electors. Other elections.
Right. She will refuse to lift a finger or contribute a penny toward his reelection because he signed a welfare bill. But, she
yeah, but he said that with a wink and a nod. He says, we'll fix these problems later after I get elected, more or less what he meant to say.
That's right. That's what my opening monologue was all about.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. I said, oh, boy, he gets reelected, they're all going to be taken care of.
Well, I mean, that's the whole
hypocrisy of the whole thing.
Well, why sign the bill if he's always all he's going to do is go out there and change it if he gets reelected. It's like I said mere moments ago, he simply wants to take both sides of the issue here. He knows he's making people mad. He says, look, we got to do this. I'll tell you, my friends, there is something besides the substance of the bill that they're looking to do, and that is take welfare off the table as a political issue. With him signing the bill now, it takes an issue away from Dole and Kemp and the Republicans this campaign. They cannot go out there and talk about how Clinton has failed to follow through on his promise to end welfare as we know it. It's a Republican bill, and they're happy for people to know that it's a Republican bill. And it's because of the Republican things in it that Clinton says we're going to have to change. And the things that I don't like, but the overall point here is good, and we'll make it. But we'll go back in fix those things after I get reelected. People won't look at that as the hypocrite that he is, although they should. Quick break, back in just a moment.
Where can you find balanced reporting minus the liberal virus that has infected just about every news medium in America? You owe it to yourself to subscribe to the Washington Times National Weekly Edition. Issues like Whitewater, Travelgate, FBI background files at the White House. These are the stories the Times broke first and covers best. Call 1-800-420-NEWS and order the Washington Times National Weekly Edition for less than $1 a week. Call now and you'll get 4 free bonus publications too. That's 1-800-420-NEWS for the Washington Times National Weekly Edition. 1-800-420-6397.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
For WGBR News, I'm Thomas Vick. Wayne County's SAT scores rose 16 points over last year. The gain is the largest in 6 years and continues an upward trend that started in the 1994-95 school year. The average verbal score was up 9 points, while the average math score was up 7 points. The county's SAT scores are up a total of 25 points over the past 2 years. The state gain over the same time period was 12 points. The national gain was 10 points. School Superintendent Dr. Ray Brayboy says he's pleased with the impressive gains. Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Charles Rivers, says it's gratifying to see some positive results from the school's emphasis on creating effective schools. The daily average per 100 pounds on the Goldsboro tobacco market yesterday crept its way back up after a midweek staggering decline. The average yesterday, $182.01, 869,000 pounds were sold on the market yesterday for $1,500,000.